With you about how do you start the ketogenic diet for beginners for weight loss. I have 7 simple steps that will help you. Hi, my name is Pam Bennett, family nurse practitioner. I specialize in weight loss. During my first year in practice, I helped my patients lose over 1,600 pounds. If you like what you hear, please comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification window. So step 1, the first thing you need to do is learn how to read nutrition labels. I want to keep this very simple, and today we're only going to focus on just the key components of the nutrition labels. You're going to start by looking at the serving size, and you're going to ask yourself, am I going to eat all of this, half of this, a quarter of this? And let's say, for example, it says this container is 4 servings, and if you know you're going to eat all 4 servings, whatever the carbohydrate counts are, you need to multiply times 4. If you know that it's 2 servings and you're only going to eat half of it, then you know that you can keep the carbohydrate count exactly what's listed on the label. So now that you know your serving size, the next thing you're going to do is go down to total carbohydrates. When you're trying to lose weight, it is really important that you only count total carbohydrates. Don't make it complicated. Don't do net carbs. Don't subtract out fiber. Don't do half of the sugar alcohols. Just keep it simple. Total carbohydrates. Next, I want you to go down to the bottom of the label where it says the ingredients. I want you to actually read the ingredients. Ingredients are listed by the percentage included in the container. The larger the percentage, the higher it is on the list. So the very first ingredient is the largest percentage of that type of item within that container. The last ingredient is the smallest percentage of that item within that container. I want you to find how many sugars are listed, and I want you to look how many sugars are within that first 5 ingredients. If it's predominantly sugar, and sugar is one of the top ingredients, it probably is a food you should avoid for now. I always like to tell my patients the best sugars that are safest for them when it comes to keeping them in ketosis, to keep them from having any glucose rise and insulin being turned on, is allulose, erythritol, stevia, and monk fruit. They're also healthy for the gut. Now, sucralose and aspartame are also okay for ketogenic diet, but are not the healthiest for your gut. So another reason it's important to read the label is a lot of times marketing companies have spent a lot of money and they know what words will trigger us to think it's actually a healthy food. So I love to use, for example, stevia in the raw is made up of 2 different sugars. One is stevia, and the other one is another sugar that spikes your glucose levels. So it's not a safe sugar for you to eat if you're trying to do the ketogenic diet. Another thing I love to talk about with patients is yogurt. Is yogurt healthy? Is yogurt not healthy? It depends on which one you use and who you talk to. If you have gut issues, you should probably stay away from dairy in the beginning. But let's say you don't have any gut issues and you love yogurt. Well, it depends on which one you use. For example, if you like the Greek Yoplait blueberry yogurt, if you look at the ingredients, it has 19 grams of pure sugar in it. If you compare that to an Almond Joy has 21 grams of sugar. Stay away from the yogurt unless you read the labels. Step 2, I always count my carbs. I make sure I stay under 20 grams of carbs per day. And that's total carbs, not net. Keep it simple and just count total carbs. Step 3, make your carbs count. Your diet should consist of mostly non-starchy carbohydrates. Remember, the ketogenic diet is a low carbohydrate diet. It is not a no carbohydrate diet. So remember, vegetables are actually carbohydrates. I want you to eat low glycemic, non-starchy vegetables. So what carbohydrates do I stay away from? I avoid breads, pastas, rice, starchy carbohydrates, sugar, anything at all that is going to put me above 20 grams of carbs per day. Let's talk about your fat intake. A lot of people think the ketogenic diet is all these saturated and trans fats and it's okay to eat them. No, it's not okay. We still want to be healthy, right? So you should only consume healthy fats. The first types of fats I want to talk about are oils. The types of oils I personally consume are avocado, olive, coconut, flax, hemp. I use all of those oils on a pretty regular basis. Butter. Butter should be grass-fed. If you're going to consume butter, it really needs to be grass-fed, grass-finished butters such as Kerrygold butter. MCT oil is another type of fat that's consumed on a ketogenic diet. Try and make sure it's a C8 to C10, preferably more C8 type of oil, and you can use it to increase your energy. Mayonnaise. I love mayonnaise. I use it in different meals, and I prefer Primal Kitchen's mayonnaise. It's one of the cleanest, healthiest, soy-free, sugar-free mayonnaise available today. Avocados. I love avocados. I recommend all my patients eat avocados as long as they don't have any latex allergies or avocado allergies. Remember, avocados are fruit, so they are high in carbohydrates. So you need to balance out the carbohydrate between the fat, but it's a very healthy fruit that gives you a really good balance of carbohydrates and fats. I probably eat about a half an avocado a day. Let's talk about nuts. So nuts are like the perfect food, right? They're fats, they're carbohydrates, and they're protein. However, nuts, I like to call them gateway drugs. If you can just have 6 almonds, then go for it, have it. But if you're the person that says, oh, there's my 6, let me get 6 more, let me get 6 more, then it's a gateway drug for you, and you probably should stay away from it, because too much of a good thing is no longer a good thing. You can easily blow your ketogenic diet just by having too many nuts. So let's talk about dairy. Dairy is actually a healthy fat. However, a lot of people today have dairy allergies or have dairy sensitivities. I have some patients who literally, we take dairy away and they lose weight because we're able to fix their gut. So if you have a lot of gas or bloating or constipation, or you just don't feel quite right after eating dairy, that's something you should probably avoid. Now, the types of dairy that I do consume, very limited, would be heavy whipping cream, occasionally full fat sour cream or full fat cream cheese. But I really try and stay away from dairy as much as possible. The types of cheeses I use will be Parmesan, feta, or goat. Like I said, I pretty much stay away from dairy, and I use it in very small quantities. Meats are typically part of a ketogenic diet. You can do ketogenic diets totally vegan, but you also can do them with protein. But I want to emphasize, this is not a carnivore diet. It does not mean that all you eat is meat. You should be eating meat in a balanced way, and it should be just a portion of your meal. The type of meats I recommend for my patients and myself, I tend to eat more leaner meats, but I do get some meats that's very healthy and fat, like your salmons, your trout. I love smoked salmon. I love salmon in general, and it's a great source of healthy fat. Any of the beef that I eat is all grass-fed, grass-finished, so again, I'm getting that really good healthy fat. Seafoods should always be wild-caught. When they're wild caught, they're in the best omega-3, 6, and 9 ratios. They're very healthy for you, they're very filling, and they taste great. Smoked seafood. You have to be careful here with smoked seafood, because most of the time the carbohydrate count is like 1 or 2 grams. However, the second ingredient is cane sugar or maple sugar or honey. I really want you to read the labels. There's plenty of good, healthy smoked trout or salmon that's all wild caught that has no added sugars. Because there's such a variety out there, read the labels and make sure you get no added sugars for any smoked meats that you get or canned meats that you get. Chicken can be tricky because there's all these ways that they can advertise what they call healthy chicken. I try and get the no antibiotics and no hormones and cage-free pasture-raised chicken. Eggs. Eggs are probably one of my staples. I prefer the darker color egg, the better. So the more brown the egg is, I typically prefer that. I always make sure my eggs are no antibiotics, nor hormones, grass raised, where they're actually out in the pasture eating grass. But again, a lot of those labels are misleading. So go for the healthiest eggs available within your price point. Deli meats. We think it's meat, it's safe, it's keto. Not necessarily true. Meats like prosciutto are actually pretty safe. Most of the time they don't have any added sugars, but you still need to read the labels. A lot of your deli meats have added sugar. We want the least amount of sugar possible, so really read those labels. Bacon. So we all think bacon is safe, right? Like we've all heard, just fry up 2 pounds of bacon, you can eat it, it's ketogenic. Well, that's not actually correct. Most bacon has sugar in it. So again, we want to get the healthiest type of meat, but I also want you to get the no sugar added bacon. At my local grocery store, there's only one type of bacon that does not have sugar and does not have nitrates. So that's the bacon that I tend to get. But read those labels. Protein powders, oh my gosh, talk about trying to make things confusing in the way that marketers advertise. There's all these protein powders that say ketogenic, it's friendly, it's paleo, it's vegan. Read the label. If it's not one of the sugars I've already discussed, don't eat it. If it says 3 net carbs, but the total carbs is 21 count, don't eat it. You want as clean of a protein shake as possible. Pork rinds and condiments. Condiments can literally blow all of your work for the day. It's really important that we read our labels. I tend to use mostly Primal Kitchen condiments, or I make it myself. The Primal Kitchen brand has been known for sugar-free, soy-free, and it's a really good type of condiment that's healthy for you. Mustards are typically no added sugar, and they're pretty much safe any brand that you choose, but still read the label, because every once in a while you're going to find a mustard out there that has added sugar. Pickles, I love me some pickles. Most, again, half of them have sugar in them, the other half do not. So make sure you're reading those labels and you're getting the no sugar added pickles. Broths, I've mentioned them several times in most of my videos and earlier in this video. Broths are a great way for you to get electrolytes, for you to get some sodium, and for you to have like that warmth sensation and feel full. I love Kettle and Fire bone broth. It's my favorite bone broth I use. I have it shipped to my house automatically every single month. Salad dressings. I tend to use olive oil and Bragg's apple cider vinegar. You can also make your own salad dressing. You can use a Primal Kitchen salad dressing. Make sure it's a no sugar added dressing. There's no point in getting hidden sugars in your salad dressing when you think everything else about it is good, and then you get too much of the condiment and it blows your diet. So pork rinds, it's actually something that you can eat on a ketogenic diet, and it helps whenever you're craving something salty besides the bone broth. So you can use it for a snack. But I want you to, again, read those labels. Get those organic pork rinds. The pork rinds I recommend are the Epic pork rinds. They tend to be one of the healthiest on the market. But they also have the $2 pork rinds, at your local grocery store. Get what you can afford and make sure you read the label, because there's some pork rinds, especially if they're flavored, that have hidden sugars in them. And lastly, don't overcomplicate it. We can make keto super complicated. But as a beginner, I want you to just keep it simple. Only 20 grams of carbs per day. Have protein 2 to 3 times per day. Have 4 to 6 servings of vegetables per day. If you're gonna have a fruit, small amount, have it be a berry, strawberry, blueberries, blackberries. If you need cream in your coffee, add heavy whipping cream instead. It's safe and it's not gonna cause your blood sugar to spike. Drink water, and make sure if you drink anything else besides water, it has no added sugars. If you like what you hear, please comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification window. Thank you for your time today. Follow these 7 simple steps and you can be on your way to starting a ketogenic diet today.